Okay, so the first step in a grisaille, and I'm gonna give you a lecture in just a second to cover this, after you have double primed your panel or canvas, and mind you, how I did it is in cross direction, right? Some people will sand in between layers, or some people will just sand the top layer. If you do sand, you wanna make sure that you wipe off any residual dust, because that'll mix in with your paint when you put that on there. So the first layer is actually called an imprimatura. Premature, in the first, like early, right? And typically we use, in the Italian tradition for a grisaille, we actually do put one color down. So I've actually mixed some terrible acrylic paint that is not anywhere near brown, but that's what we had, in the case that someone did not actually bring their oil paint. So if you don't have any oil paint, or if a friendly person will not allow for a little dab, because a little dab will do you, then we can use this. And I've mixed that up in the white gallon jug there. So the easiest thing to do is to actually take just a little dab. A little dab literally does do you. And you can put it directly on your panel. And the thing is I have acrylic here. This is acrylic gesso. Acrylic can always go under oil paint. You can do a full painting in acrylic and do oil on top of it and have it be perfectly kosher, perfectly archival, which will mean it'll last forever. But what you can never do is acrylic over. So if I make an entire oil painting and I don't like it and I want to redo it, I actually have to white it out or sand it and put another layer of oil down in order to be able to paint on top of it. I can't go acrylic on oil, ever. Get it? Because oil and water don't mix. So I've got two things here. I've got liquid, and then I've got your terpenoid, which is your, I'll refer to it as your terps, right? And this is that, essentially that, your solvent, your non-solvent solvent. And what I'll do is, we'll use way too much, and make a giant mess. But I'll use a rag, and I'll do a real quick, and I put way too much on there. So I need a little bit more. You can do this in a more controlled fashion, because that's ridiculous what I just did. And you're basically making a stain. And I've terped it down so that it'll dry, and that I can keep it transparent. If I just went over that in, let me get another rag here. I just went over that with just the paint itself. It would literally take forever to dry. And so, like in printmaking, you kind of make a little rag that has a little round tip, and you wipe off the excess. And in about 10 minutes, that'll dry. So after my lecture, that'll be nice and dry for me. I don't want to wipe off too much, and this is why I turn my shirt inside out, and this is why I don't wear nice clothes into this classroom. But I want to get off anything that is going to inhibit me from drying in time. And you can go as far back as you want, but you see that this allows the white to show through. So the point of the gesso is to retain light, but also to prime the surface and to maintain a barrier, okay? So that is how you tone the surface.